Hello and welcome to Coast to Coast Baseball Edition, our first baseball edition of the season. My name is Eric Ruby, joined alongside Matt Stahlboff and Nick Aguilera. Guys, we're deep into the baseball season as of now. A few weeks ago, it was budding and it was exciting. We're like, this is the start of baseball. Now we actually have a sample size. We got stuff to talk about. Let's jump on the hottest team in baseball that really nobody was expecting. Let's talk about the Mets. And Mets are 13-5 right now. We're going into the season. Nobody was like, man, I'm expecting a huge year from the Mets. What do you take away so far, 18 games in from the Mets?
Yeah, I grew up a Met fan, and I didn't even think they'd be this good. I was excited for the players they signed. I liked when they got Bruce. I liked Todd Frazier. I liked Agon. I wasn't think these guys are going to be this good. We'll start with Gonzalez. Batting .256, got an OBP of .353. Been great. Frazier, he's got a 1.1 WAR. Fourth in the NL, and it's just been a leader on this team. Not exactly hitting the home runs that I think fans thought, but he's hitting the ball pretty well, 293, and he's been the leader in this clubhouse. He started the pepper and shake, the salt shake, that was for sure. Been a great thing for the fans and the team. And it's just been a lot of fun, a lot of comeback wins. They have 5 comeback wins this year, and finally the bullpen, been pretty good. Familia hasn't given up a run yet this year at all. Robert Giselle started off as a starter, but has finally found his role in relief, 2.61 ERA. And A.J. Ramos has been great. Kind of struggled when he got traded last year from the Marlins, but this season been good so far, 2.35. Can they keep things up? It's the Mets, so we have no idea. Right. But hopefully they do. So we'll have to wait and see.
Just 2 years ago, they were in the World Series. So for me, it's not as big of a surprise because they have that really good young rotation with Syndergaard, DeGrom. I like what Matz is doing so far. Harvey's still there, obviously, which is a burden for them. But as a team, they have a 3.68 ERA, which is very good. And they're starting to come into their own as a pitching staff, 2.25 or 225 batting average against, which is good enough for 8th in the league.
So Matt, you mentioned it's the Mets. So we don't know if it's going to keep it up. If you had to predict as of now, where are the Mets at the end of the regular season? Are they wild card? Do they win the division? Or are we looking at a Metless playoff?
Good question. So if everyone stays healthy, if this is pretty much the team, they don't have a catcher right now, so the injuries are already starting to happen. But as of right now, I say it's between them and the Nats and the NL East. The other one takes a wild card spot. I think the Mets hitting, it's just been really good. They're a very patient team. Just getting on base, which is the key in baseball these days, on base, hit home runs, and they're doing a pretty good job with that. I think they have a shot, and I also believe their starting pitchers are just so talented that, Syndergaard, it took him, first 2 starts, kind of struggled, but now starting to get in the groove. DeGrom's been great, Cy Young candidate as of right now, and hopefully Matz or even Harvey just kind of steps up and gets better in the year. But the key is, at least 3 of those starting pitchers are good and healthy, and then they're still hitting or getting on base the way they are. They should definitely make the postseason.
Nick?
Yeah, I see him as a wild card contender at this point. Yeah, they don't have a catcher. Darno and Plawecki are both hurt, but I think that their lineup is potent enough to score runs. Right now, they're 10th in runs scored and 9th in OPS. So I think they can obviously hit the ball out and keep it up till September, and hopefully we see them in the postseason.
Another hot team, sort of building off of a short little playoff run from last season, the Arizona Diamondbacks, local team here, led by, I was not expecting to say this name, Patrick Corbin.
Yeah.
On the pitching side, 1.65 ERA, 37 strikeouts so far in the season, having a Cy Young type season, 18 games in. Goldschmidt started off really rough, and it has slowly been building himself back up. Ketel Marte has been a great addition to the team, and these D-backs, losing JD Martinez, they've still been able to stay afloat and be 13-5. So just general predictions or observations about the Diamondbacks this season.
Been really impressed by the way they've been this year. Corbin, he's trying to make his money. He's a free agent next year, so he's really, he's going to go all out this year to get that big contract. And he's been great. 3-0, 1.65 ERA. He went a complete game, only gave up 1 hit, just a little blooper to Belt. That was ridiculous. Probably should have had a no-hitter. But he's been amazing so far. And also Goldschmidt, yes, has he struggled hitting? Of course. But he's still got a 405 OBP. So I'm not too worried about Goldschmidt. He's the all-star that we all know and love. So I don't expect him to be any different than any other year. And also David Peralta. He's been another guy. Freight Train has been unreal. 309 average, 404 OBP. His WAR is like 1.4, which is crazy at this time of the year. Been absolutely phenomenal. Great fielder. He's been a great story for his entire career. He's had a great year this year. Hopefully, keep things up. As of right now, I think they'll probably make the postseason. Probably them and the Dodgers. The Rockies have kind of been struggling, so them and the Dodgers, I think, will win. One of them will win the NL West. Other one will make the wild card with the Mets or Nats. So.
Nick?
Yeah, so Corbin has come out and shown he has Cy Young stuff. I mean, his slider is as sharp as ever. And this team doesn't even have one of their best hitters, Steven Souza Jr., who they got from the Rays earlier in the offseason. He's going to provide some spark in the outfield.
That power for sure.
Yeah, because right now it's Gerard Dyson and Chris Owings in the outfield.
And to be fair to Gerard Dyson, he's fast and he's a good fielder, but just hitting wise, he just isn't cutting it. So just that one extra addition to the D-backs team has that potential to really push him up to the next upper echelon, sort of like they were playing at the end of the last regular season with J.D. Martinez. Obviously, he's not J.D. Martinez type, but he's better than what they have now. And as they're performing, I mean, just that small addition could just really push a team, whether it's the Diamondbacks or anybody else, to that next level. All you need is that one extra player.
Yeah, definitely.
Souza, yeah, I mean, he's got a great power. Always hit power-wise, he hit well in Tampa. Average is all right, 220s, 240s, but he'll be great. I think at the end of the day, this D-backs team, great start. They probably need another player or two at the deadline, get a rental or something that can really push them to that next level when it comes to the postseason and beyond from that. So I think this team is talented enough to really make damage throughout the year, make the postseason, and the key is health. So if they stay healthy, they got a good shot.
I mean, one of their strong suits now is their pitching, which a few years ago, if you're talking about the D-backs, would not be their strong suit. And unfortunately, you said stay healthy, lost Taijuan Walker, and going to go Tommy John surgery. But, their rotation is still a nice rotation, especially you have, hero Archie Bradley coming in for saves and all of that, coming in a few innings here and there, sort of electrifying that D-backs crowd, not like many pitchers can do. So let's move on to electrifying. Talk about the most electric team in baseball, the Boston Red Sox, 16-2. 16-2 on this season, absolutely dominating, just sort of making their way throughout the MLB. Their pitching staff's incredible. Chris Sale has been absolutely on fire this season. I mean, are we looking at a Red Sox World Series victory this year, or are they going to slow down at some point this season?
As of right now, it's looking like it. Porcello, Sale, and Price all have ERAs under 2.25. They lead the MLB in runs. They're 6th in home runs. Lead the MLB and OBP. I mean, their offense is just insane. Their pitching is insane. Everything's clicking. J.D. Martinez struggled very briefly in the beginning, but now it's finding his groove. 3.38, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs. Kind of back to like what he was in Arizona last year. I mean, as of right now, I don't see this team slowing down. I mean, obviously it's baseball, things happen, but they're a favorite, clear favorite. Definitely right now, as of right now, I think they'll win the World Series.
Yeah, right now they're at the top of every leaderboard. Number 1 in average, OPS, runs scored, batting average against. Number 2 in ERA with 2.63. Mookie Betts looks like an MVP again. So if Mookie's there, last year he kind of struggled, didn't necessarily replicate that 2016 season. It looks like the 2016 Mookie is back, and if he's back and he's healthy and everyone stays, they still have Xander Bogaerts on the DL, and they're doing all this without him. This team is going to be dangerous.
Are they going to stay this hot throughout the regular season? I mean, obviously nobody's going to maintain a 16-2 record, but do you see them really just sort of easily making their way throughout the regular season? Or are they going to hit some bumps, hit some injuries, and their pitching, their ERAs might go up a little bit and slack?
It's a good question. I think it mainly depends on the pitching. I mean, Sale for his whole career he's been pretty consistent in his entire career. He's never really had that much of a struggle. Price has had his ups and downs on Boston, but hey, if he's trying to opt out this year, because if he can opt out and if he hopefully get a bigger contract, that's his goal. So he's going to, I think, work hard, play through injuries, and just really try to be the best that he can be this season. And Porcello's funny. He'll have that Cy Young year and then really struggle the next year, and it looks like he's back to, maybe not Cy Young, but pretty good. So far, so good for him. So I think the key is the pitching, because I think the offense, someone will always step up for Boston. They just have so many guys on the field, so much talent that someone's going to step up. The key is those 3 starting pitchers. Can they all stay consistent? Because they're all 3 Cy Young candidates. They're all 3 guys who can, 2 have won it, and Sale should probably have won one by now. So they're all very talented. They're probably have the most talent in the MLB right now. So, to answer your question, I don't see them slowing down. Like I said before, I think they're going to win the World Series at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really depends on that middle part of that rotation of Price, Pomeranz, Porcello. They all had decent seasons last year, not exactly what they expected. Pomeranz was actually very good last year, but they're seeing if he can replicate it this year. I see the Yankees becoming more and more of a threat as we go along. They're in a tough division. They have to compete with them. So either A, they're a wild card team and they breeze through and have a first-round matchup with either the Yankees or the Astros, or they just breeze through the Yankees continue to struggle, and they're the number one team in baseball.
I mean, I think right now they probably have a 90% chance to make postseason because
Yeah.
the Blue Jays are doing good and the Yankees are doing good, but they're not at the Red Sox level. I think one of those guys, if anything, one of those two teams slips before the Red Sox fall.
Well, Red Sox are hot on both sides of the plate, pitching and batting. Well, it's not often we get to see a player like that really quickly. I mean, Shohei Ohtani, one of the most electrifying players in baseball in a really long time. We saw him struggle in spring training and still draw the cameras. I'm going to throw a would you rather here, a sort of hypothetical scenario. I mean, obviously, this is never going to happen. You're going to have to choose. But if you had to, for the rest of the season, playoffs included, would you rather watch Shohei Ohtani pitch and bat and play or watch the Red Sox? Now, keep in mind, Red Sox could make a deep postseason runs. The Angels could as well, but Shohei could also maybe falter a little bit. Nick, I'll start with you. Are we going Shohei or are we going Red Sox?
You know, I'm going Shohei because he's a once-in-a-lifetime player. You don't see anyone really pitching or hitting. Brendan McKay and Hunter Green came into the draft last year trying to do both. Both have pretty much transitioned into full-time pitchers at this point, but Ohtani is showing that you can do it at the major league level, and even if he falters, it's going to be interesting to watch because no matter what, the media is always going to be on this guy, and I want to see what goes on, how he handles the pressure.
Matt?
Yeah, I'm going Ohtani too. I mean, this is what Nick just said, once-in-a-lifetime type of player. I mean, you're talking about a guy. We were talking about, spring training. He couldn't hit a curveball, and we were debating, and he was kind of struggling pitching too. And there was even debates on whether he should go down to the minors. But he's just been amazing. I mean, he's hitting well, 3.24 average. He's got a 3.6 CRA, which isn't bad. And just to watch him, watching him every day, just to see how, he hits one day and then he'll start, in the next few games, and just it's amazing. You never see anything like that, and I'd be curious to see if he struggles pitching, does it affect his hitting, and vice versa, that kind of stuff. And yes, I like once in a lifetime opportunity. He's really a phenomenon. Such a young player that we don't know how long he could do this. So I would watch Ohtani.
I'm going Red Sox just because they're so dominant both sides of the play. I love watching fun baseball. As great as Ohtani is, I mean, we have seen him struggle, and we know that's in him, so I'm not sure he's going to keep up this level of electricity. But it's going to be a fun, guess what? We don't have to pick, guys. We get to watch both. It's going to be a fun MLB season, but that's going to do it for Coast to Coast MLB Breakdown. My name is Eric Ruby, alongside me, Nick Aguilera and Matt Stolboff. We will see you guys hopefully next week to break down even more baseball. Do the Mets stay hot? Do the Red Sox continue to run their way throughout the entire MLB? Only time will tell, but until then, enjoy baseball. We'll see you guys next week.